to the desk for our second map, which has just concluded. I'm Alex Machine Richardson, joined by Devil Walk and Vendetta to break down what we have just witnessed. And we witnessed what was safe to say a little bit of back and forth performance from Cadian as well, a couple of points, and I'm really intrigued to know what you guys thought of that one.
I mean, I thought TSM, they played, good Counter-Strike. They even, they had a, what was it, 7-3, 7-4, something like that, lead on their CT side. Eventually, Tyler kind of granted it back, turned it around, but still felt like TSM was in control the whole game. Like, Titan could have picked up a couple more. They played a lot better than the last time we saw them on Dust 2, but TSM was just better. The map shows.
Yeah, that was kind of what we expected as well. So we were looking forward to Inferno already before Dust 2 started. And now we're going to see it as well. And you can see here, Carrigan played a huge role in this Dust 2 win. And
wow, 2.5 KDA.
Yeah, so he just played out of his mind this game. And as you can see, there was no one really on TSM that was really lagging behind. They were all contributing. As for Titan, we didn't get to see the Kenny S show we expected. Maniac surprisingly he managed to keep up that form we saw on Cash. He still played really well. He found that room that he needed, so that's a positive sign going into Inferno. But in the end, we didn't expect Titan to win Dust 2, so...
So kind of the bottom line of that map was we were looking forward to Inferno. So, I mean, we may as well spend our time, gifted time anyway, just allocating that towards Inferno. And so, starting with you then, Devil Walk, it's a map that we've seen quite a bit so far throughout all games, but also primarily for these two teams. Actually, Titan playing it an awful lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I think this map is going to be super close. Like, this is... last time they met, it was 16-14 in SLTV. TSM did have their full lineup back then, so it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. But I'm kind of still favoring TSM, even though they have Cadian in the lineup. He's been doing great, and you never really see that Device presence is missing during this tournament.
You tend to agree, Halvor?
Well, I agree that Cadian has done a really good job of filling Device's shoes, but I'm going to go the other way and say Titan are my favorites to win Inferno. 16-14 last time around. Titan have had the opportunity to play Inferno in all 3 games they've had so far at this event, which could be a blessing, it could be a curse as well, because it's given TSM the opportunity to see what they're doing. But if they haven't done so, that could play in the favor of Titan with the fact that they've gotten a few games under their belts. They've had really close nail biters where they've brought it back versus 3D Max, and then they absolutely stomped Envy, which it should be a pretty powerful sign. So I'm going to go with Titan. I think Titan are going to close this out and make it to the finals versus Na'Vi.
Okay, and I mean, with this kind of individual discussion we've been having throughout, every time we see Titan, it seems to be a kind of, again, that broken record of, is Kenny S going to perform? So far, we haven't seen it, especially when you guys were talking about Dust 2, and that was your primary point, was if Titan were going to surprise and pick up D2, Kenny S needed to step up. Didn't necessarily, but also the next point I want to kind of raise here is going into Inferno. Is this not a map where it needs to be a real team effort from Titan? Because every single time we see them get close, it's when 2 of the 5 are on form. Have we seen Titan with that 5-man full Titan stack?
I mean, this is a map where I think it's probably the most important map to actually be really ready with the revenge frags. It's also a very, it's hard to gain information as CT, and you kind of have to make those risky plays to get the rotations correctly, like flash out banana, get the information, or even early on take the map control to limit the options of the terrorists. So, but yeah, as terrorists, it's about pushing into small choke points and actually having good flashes, good smokes to kind of block off the CTs, but eventually money control, and once CTs get Molotovs to block even further, it usually becomes very, very difficult for the terrorists to pick out rounds. And
that's the thing, TSM are normally known for playing a very reactive style of CT's side, and Inferno is actually one of the very few maps where they move about on the map. And that just gives you an idea of how important it is to find that information. So you're probably going to see Sipnix and Carrigan around that B-bomb site, smoking down banana, Molotoving out, just basically being very active in terms of trying to find information and figuring out what Titan are doing. And we've seen it several times that Cajun is the go-to guy on that A-bomb side in terms of moving about in apartments and surprising whatever opponent comes his way. And that's something that Titan has to be aware of.
And I'm actually wondering if, let's say, TSM start on the T side. Throughout this tournament, we've seen maybe like 6 out of 10 weapon rounds Titan have played on CT. They always have 3 guys on B. Even though they're not taking the control of the banana, they're actually having 3 men always early on B. So I'm wondering if maybe TSM will actually make some very, very fast A pushes or hold pushes to kind of counter their normal CT setups.
I feel like there's a lot of questions that have been posed by the desk, and I think the only way we're going to get those answers is by heading on into game. And that means it's time for me to introduce your commentators. I'm not going to say anything stupid because they are ripping me a new one every time I hand over. I'm just going to introduce the romantic poet Semler and the flower pansy.
I like the way you could hear him starting to laugh at his own joke towards the end of that a little bit there. How are you feeling about that one? You good? I'm kind of worried.
I'm kind of liking it.
It works.
Good work in their
nice.
machine. I actually like that one.
You've improved, like map by map. He's got there.
Well, the French side in me is very appreciative of that. You know,
Yeah,
the poet. I can go with that. Thanks, machine.
Semler.
Well, you know, we are actually a little conflicted, it seems, with how things are going to wind up here on this last map.
On the desk. It's splitting people, right? Everyone's kind of got their own little kind of like ideas of what the imperative things are to fall into place, right? Is it the Kenny factor? Does that need to kind of start hitting up? Or is it, you know, the CT side just in general need to come into place for Titan? You know, there's so many different little factors that people are depending on here.
And I'm wondering which way TSM are going to go with this, because we're going to go into the knife, so we're going to see who's going to get the start on which side. But Titan have been pretty on point on Inferno, it seems. Existence has been doing a fantastic job locking down that B site with RPK. The one thing is that they again, you know, tend to go for the not a lot of change in how they do hold on the site. So I'm curious to see if TSM have done their homework, if they've done the anti-strats, and if they're going to be able to figure out, you know, how to contend with Titan on this map. I mean, it seems like a lot of people are going with Titan to close this out. You know, Vendetta is one, Thorn another.
Yep.
But I still have to think I'm going to stick with TSM on this, because now it comes down to the close, and TSM have won more matches recently than Titan. So they might that might make the difference in the mental game. Although, despite the fact that they have Cadian, and we see him here on our screen right now, Cadian also putting up a hell of a fight on Dust 2 with some key rounds, just not quite able to eke out the win.
Exactly, and this is the thing.
Never mind, they did, but
yeah, but yeah, I knew what you meant then in that one. It's not been a huge hindering factor having him there. He's been playing well enough that he's slotted in. He's not been either, you know, the biggest difference to them. You know, he's not come in and just changed the whole world, but he's just held his own. He's been, you know, completely down the middle with it, and that's absolutely fine. But I'm just so excited and just kind of enthralled to see if, let's say, you know, Titan do stick for the CT side, which I'm pretty sure they will be doing. I'm so curious to see how the T side break it, because every time I've seen these guys play so far, Titan have just looked brilliant. It's been that B play that's blown my mind. Just how much time they've been able to buy for themselves with the mollies, the smokes, the flashes. Everything has been just so key. And then you throw in the element of like RPK having the outstanding game when he was playing on A. You just throw in all these small elements that just make it such a tough task. I think that if TSM get even a good, you know, a relatively good T side out of this, and they break what other teams have completely politically failed at doing, at least throughout this tournament, that'll change everything. That would be TSM. They're there. I'm not even going to doubt that. I don't think that the T side of Titan is necessarily as imperative as their CT side here to have that real performance in. Well, at least for me personally.
It is a CT-sided map, right? But I think that Titan's key player, Kenny, he's taken the biggest hit. And we were talking a lot about this on Dust 2, where we didn't really see that big impact from him. And that probably made the difference for TSM. That probably allowed them to come into this and take it to map 3. The fact that in the past, at least, Titan have heavily relied on Kenny to create opportunities for them, to get picks towards B, to get picks towards A. With that AWP, be very aggressive with it. The fact that they can't really rely on that anymore. Titan, it kind of turns it into, you know, well, Maniac with the lurk, or Apex with the lurk. You know, are they going to be able to get something going for Titan? They have pretty big shoes. You know, it's like Godzilla shoes. You know, and it takes a lot of people to fill those shoes. So, you know, do Titan have enough people to go ahead and fill Kenny's role?
It's the question. You know, Kenny on this one, no surprise with the open, just without even just in that CT arch, the way he plays, like, you know, on and off. He had one game in this tournament where he was on fire. The other, middle of the scoreboard, very quiet Kenny, you know, not hitting those aggressive shots. But Which Kenny we're going to get, we're going to find out. It looks like we are about to get ready for this one to begin. It's the third and final map here for this semi-final, and this has felt just brilliant from start to finish, but it's the pistol coming in, and no surprise, Titan will be sticking on that CT side. They're going to try and lock this one out. T side's going to be TSM, and this is a massive round to get up and get into your favor. That first imperative pistol round.
And I'm glad that Kenny actually went for the peek down mid just to get info. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more info coming in, but we're seeing Titan actually go for one of their tried and true holds. 3 guys stacked up on B, only 2 on A. And right now, TSM are starting to get map control. They're starting to get, they have control of Banana if they want it, because nobody is holding aggressive for Titan, but they're also getting control of apartments. This is very thorough work coming out from TSM, making good use of the time, and now moving up and just getting the space that they'll need to then decide where they want to go. They have 2 smokes and 2 flashes, or 4 flashes rather, so TSM actually have options as well. If they want to go A, they can do that. But now Titan have seen, okay, well, this hasn't happened towards B, so they start to rotate back towards A. This would have been the perfect time now for TSM to pounce, but instead, they are going towards, I mean, they're actually going for a B split through CT. This is wild. RPK and Existence are in construction right now. Apex is holding a Banana. Is Cajun B going to be able to catch Apex off guard? And yes, he will. This is a key frag. TSM might think that there's only 1 man left on this site, though. They haven't seen RPK. This is a problem.
They were set up for that almost. They were waiting for that split to come through. Titan are so aware of this, but still, the bomb site is being challenged. RPK did get down Zipnix. The bomb is in Cadian's hands. He's going to be one of the only players on that bomb site still. He's trying desperately. Carrigan covering him off. RPK goes down. It's a 3v2 after plant situation. Titan need to break back in here.
This is wild. Existence can really step forward. He's going to get that headshot onto Carrigan, but Cadian, however, has forced his way past Maniac. Now he's in construction. But there's 2 guys holding, and they're already sticking the defuse. Nothing he could do. Just so sick, actually, that they are managed to... Well, that's the right play to go for Titan, because they have the man with the kit, and there's an extra man alive to guard that man. So why not stick the defuse? Cadian, unfortunately, he might have been just too far away. Maybe he overheard this, or he didn't hear the sound, because I don't think I heard the sound of the defuse going through there.
No,
so Cadian might have been completely in the dark and not realized that, wait, you're about to run out of time here, mate.
I just want to think back as well that it was so early on in that round that RPK and Existence fell back to construction watching that push from CT. It was like they fully knew that if they gave TSM that little control of CT Arch, then they were going to be going straight through. They'd try and do that little bit of a B split, some on Banana, and they even had a player pushed all the way down. It was just, if they meant to do that from start to finish, that is absolutely unreal. Just control and understanding of how TSM would read that situation. But as you can see, we're seeing Kenny now picking up the MP9, going to be holding a little closer at CT Arch and pushing forward. They're going to go for the challenge. Actually, getting taken pretty low here. He could get caught in the heels. He does. Get taken down by Carrigan. That's going to weaken up that A site, and they're going to make the use of that.
Carrigan wants that MP9 so bad, and he is going to try and put it to use as well, but Apex covers back, wraps back around. Not going to be able to save that gun, though. Sipnix has now got the SMG to work with. Maniac in his usual position up on balcony, and now we have to see if TSM have done their homework. When they come around this corner on short, if they decide to push, are they going to check up there, or are they going to allow him to pick up some free kills?
It is the question, isn't it? They know, even you pointed this out. The first time we were discussing it, it was a talking point before then. They do seem to check it, but doesn't mean if they can check it or not. They still go down. Maniac and Apex as the duo doing the damage. Now Zipnix will be dealt with by Maniac. And a little bit of a crossfire, a little bit of back and forth between those two, just working out well. And Maniac showing why he plays that spot. Even when people know of it, it's still so hard to deal with.
Oh, well, it's both, actually. It's the fact that Maniac is alive up there, and you do have that on high, but you also have Apex. It's the doubling down of the defense in that pit area. So Apex is there to make sure that Maniac isn't going to be left to dry, and then obviously Maniac is there to cover Apex. So it's just a really solid hold there.
And look at this TSM buy-up. They're going to be going for what they can here into round 3. Plants came through, so I guess why not? But dangerous stuff, and there's still 3 players on the A site here, the CT side, and it looks like the play's winning quite a quick push as well. TSM just going to try and overpower, blitz their way through, but Kenny and Apex hold on. And, well, it's Maniac now down in pit. Pushes way up, spots out Dupree, spins up towards the pistol. Stunning closer for Maniac. And once again, this quad hold just down by pit on the balcony. The combo, the duo of those guys is just impenetrable right now.
And right now I'm wondering what's missing for TSM, because Device, obviously, you know, when it comes down to T-side takes like this, everybody, when they're going for flashes, smokes, etc., everybody has a flash and a smoke. And Dupree has touched on this so far in the tournament as well, mentioning it, you know, the fact that, well, you know, some plays that we go for, we need to adapt on the fly because we're expecting a flash to come through, but that flash doesn't come through because Device isn't through. And so that short take is also a favorite play that TSM love to go for. And Titan, they may be setting up on, you know, they may be stacking up on short like that just to counter TSM in case they go for that kind of play. Having Apex and Maniac and Pit is just so powerful.
Kenny was so close already. I think it just kind of highlights what you're saying, that they were aware, they know what's up. Kenny got one on that one, but closed out very nicely in the end. But as you mentioned, it was something that we didn't see for the entirety of the other games. So the first time these two have met now, you can see the slight differences, the way they're slightly switching up, just because maybe they're aware of it. Maybe they're like, in the back of their minds, okay, TSM like this. Kenny just pushes right up on towards site. Creates like that, you know, triple threat from that sort of spot, so they can't do anything. And look at this beginning. Maniac a little late.
Yeah, RPK is still holding on to this. The first time I saw him do this, I thought it was a misbuy. I thought that he wanted to get like a Nova or something. But him buying it again, that, like, he's got an auto shotgun. Like, he's the only guy I think I've ever seen buy an auto shotty and actually mean it.
Oh, and Apex might just get a lineup of kills here. He got two, so Cadian and Carrigan both go down as they make their push towards A. The smoke's going to slow him down, and there's still Maniac here, so this is going to cost them surely. Perfect workaround, does take down Dupree, spins up, gets Zipnix, and everything the T-side are trying is just getting met with absolute brutal force. And Titan just looking untouched so far. They don't even look challenged.
I gotta say, they're just looking incredibly solid right now, and that's also due to TSM. TSM, you know, just channeling. I mean, I don't know what to say. It just seems like they're going for these kinds of YOLO plays. So TSM, you know, the rush through the flat. I mean, through the rush through smoke, yes, but nobody watching towards short, and then nobody watching towards pit when they come up short. Like these weird little plays here for TSM that really are not paying off for them. And now we see them go for some kind of quasi-force buy here, having lost 5 rounds in a row. They have the money for it. 3 rifles, two pistols, although I'd love to see a Tech 9 instead of a Deagle on Cajun. But then again, he got like a quad kill with the Deagle earlier, so maybe Cajun could make it work. He certainly has to.
Kenny connecting on towards Cajun. Not even a chance to rattle off a shot with that Deagle there. So Kenny just plucking the head out of Vietnam. And nice little deep smoke comes in towards CTR. She's going to fall back. And last one, this just pushed Kenny onto the site, and it just made him play better with Apex and Maniac. But it's going to force them to kind of wait and receive TSM, who yet to really commit to anything. Still 50 seconds. Bomb's still down. They haven't touched that one back up. They're actually backing away. And let's bear in mind, Kenny's just doing work here, one by one, systematically taking them down, not overcommitting, not overconfident, just holding it and getting these kills. That's a CT side AWP, right?
And that's just wild that he's able to go for it, because you just saw it right there. He goes for the scope and step out, and that's the second time he's done that. And 2 kills, you know, 2 peaks, worked. 2 kills. That's wild that he actually gets that going.
Well, let's see what TSM can kind of like rabble together right now. They just keep pushing through that smoke. Existence is ready and waiting. Zipnix needs to pull off a miracle, and Titan, once again, so damn solid on this map. This CT play they have just kind of overshadows everything I see from on any other map. This is where they just look so strong. This is why I want to see TSM show something that would give me an inkling they have an idea how to do this. And as you were mentioning, that first step out shot, confident in it. He just hit that. We don't see that many, you know, actively peaking AWPs this time on the CT side, just after those small changes. You know, down the line it may adjust, but right now he's making it work somehow.
And once again, I mean, Titan and Kenny, I mean, well, Titan and Kenny, I guess, you know, Kenny, K-Pex, Kenny Pex, like, they just managed to lock down these positions on the map right now, just stepping out, taking over mid. Apex loves to have Kenny watching over his shoulder as well. I mean, he can push down aggressive mid if he wants to. He can really try and set up plays based on the abilities of his AWPer. So the fact that Kenny is getting these shots, that's actually, you know, allowing them to play a bit more aggressive here on Titan's side. Although, as I say that, once they get that collection of information from mid, they then fall back into safer positions. Kenny, you know, fairly passive angle, not, well, I mean, a little bit aggressive. He can fall to pre-fire there, but he's the only man really playing this kind of style right now for Titan.
Well, we might see a little bit of a switch up, a slightly faster B presence going out from TSM, but Kenny again finds Zipnix, and that was the one player who was close towards A, and Kenny's already starting to consider his options, going to start adjusting. He knows that he's going to have the time to do so. And as TSM line themselves up, it's going to have to be a perfect execution here, but the timing is off. RBK, no flashes towards him, has free reign to take down 2. And the bomb site somehow, though, does go to the T side, just overwhelming with numbers. Dupree and Cadian stay in this one. But look who's looking. It's Kenny. How did he not hit that? That looked so close. You can even see the bullet impact. But Apex now pushing away up Banana. He might be able to get down Cadian. If not, push clean up to Dupree.
He knows that they're there. There's going to be that man in yellow. Dupree holding the angle close to oranges. Goes for the spray. He gets overwhelmed by Maniac. However, this is still a 2-on-1. Cadian in the smoke. Cadian in the smoke. He has no idea. Does he know that he's sticking it? Yes, he goes for the wild spray and he gets it. That's what had to happen. Cadian once again coming through. Now is there the time? Yes, there is. They will be able to pull off this defuse. Cadian doing the best that he could, but Maniac able to get in and get that defuse just in the nick of time to pull it up for Titan. 7-0.
I don't know what to make of this. Titan, I wanted to see an answer. That's what I wanted from TSM. I wanted that answer. They seemed to get a little bit of a glimmer of it. There was like a little bit of hope then, like, okay, this is how we get into B. Although it was kind of worrying the fact that RPK was completely unflashed during that. He had free reign to peek in as they pushed up. They completely focused down Existence, which is fine. They got him down and they got the site eventually. They lost so much going there. The 3 remaining players were just able to retake, and sadly enough, as you mentioned, Kenny not quite having what he needed to finish off the job. But Kenny starting to look a little bit more confident for these angles and just not able to snap through that. Cajun B just stepping in towards those arches at the right time. And well, at least they have a man to the good. Hopefully they can put that to some sort of use here.
Double scoped up. If he'd been single scoped, Cajun was a dead man.
Yep.
But the way that it works out this time around, Cajun comes out ahead. There is now finally an advantage for TSM to work with here. And Apex nearly gives them more of it. And he's going to do massive damage to Cadian. But Cadian, with the second entry frag onto this A site, we see them spreading out now, just taking control. Maniac up on balcony. He's like an owl up here, I swear. Or a freedom bird. You know, he strikes down people left and right. And Maniac will pick up the one, but Sipnix will return, and this is now going to be a save situation for Titan.
Yeah. First time we've seen them look close to picking it up, and it was all about that pick on towards Kenny. As soon as Kenny went down, the map became available. And that was just because, as you said, Kenny double zoomed in. That's all it was. That little bit of a difference, that tiny bit of confidence. He switched up, went for that B peak, and you know what? A small decision different, it would have gone his way. But regardless of that, they worked off the back of it, nicely played up towards A in the end. Apex got caught out as well, so it was kind of like 2 players getting caught out, then a little, maybe just not expecting that sort of stuff to come through, and it became
Well, that's awkward.
That's gonna hurt. And the rest of them just like contract back in, like, no, we're not going even near that anymore. But 7-1, TSM, they got the pick, they opened it up, and they worked off the back of it. If Titan don't go for those aggressive peaks, like slightly more aggressive, I say, or slightly more risky plays, they play this kind of style they led up to that point, I still haven't seen TSM show something that will display the fact they'd get any more rounds.
Well, what's remarkable, despite Titan winning that round, the round before, they lost quite a few players in it. Now they've lost a round. They've been forced to spend a lot of their bank, and now we're fairly even, actually, as far as the money is concerned for both of these teams. And there's Cadian. He takes out Kenny this time around. Kenny just so slow, not able to get the shot off in time to keep himself alive. And another entry frag going TSM's way.
I want to see them do this again, though. I want to see what they make of this. Already they've kind of put RPK kind of sitting a little bit further back here. He's going to drop probably a smoke out if there's any sort of threat towards B, so Existence gets that free time there, buys it up, and he kind of maintains his presence even though he's so much closer towards A. But still, Existence is doing just fine on his own right now. 2 players slowly encroaching. The bomb yet to commit either way for the T side as well. They're so hesitant, they're so cautious, and you can't really blame them.
That smoke is going to come through. And I think that that's a fake. I mean, RPK, perfect timing to send that smoke in as well. 45 seconds, that's perfectly fine. I mean, Existence used everything up, however. They just used all of their nades, and then it's going to be the push up. Short Maniac blind takes out Sipnix, huge kill. And can he take out Dupree as well? Dupree is already at half HP. They managed to land the kill. Cajun B will take him out. And Existence and RPK, the last 2 alive for Titan, will be forced to back off once again and hold on to their guns before they can even rotate into that site. It is gone, it is done, and TSM have the plant.
I think that's the first time that we've seen RPK not be on the right place at the right time. That was the first time. First time it's happened. You know, he dropped out the smoke, he went to back it up, the smoke was good, it stopped those 2 players being able to challenge Existence, but then he committed with it. He came back over, and there was just those 2 players left towards A after that Kenny S pick up at the start. So all in all, TSM once again, working off the back of that first pick, they made it happen, and that was just pretty much Cadian hitting that shot. That's all it was. Taking the risk to sit there after they lost a player to that not too long ago. We're seeing 3 of the players keeping the hold of their AKs as well. So all in all, pretty solid stuff.
There seems to be some discussion happening over on Titan's side as well. That right there is the thing of beauty. Maniac really has been playing out of his mind. I mean, Vendetta dropped a tweet not too long ago saying, you know, that this is just wild, that Maniac is, you know, just playing so crazily. But then again, of course, Machine is like, well, you know, he's living up to his name. And he actually is. Once again, he's top fragging for his team by a large margin. So we're talking about Kenny, you know, being the one who's supposed to be pulling the weight for Titan. Maniac is taking it on his shoulders now.
Yeah,
he is the one who's getting the damage in.
It's not a bad thing to have that switch up, and we are seeing that 3-man stack again on B. This time, fully brought up. It was what they were discussing on the desk. I think it was actually Devilwalk who brought that one up as well as maybe Vendetta, and they had a little discussion that they're one of the only teams that do sometimes just play 3 out on B on occasion, and then they switch up when they have to. But Kenny and Maniac playing a little bit more passive. Kenny not going for that peek down towards Vietnam, not falling for that trick again. No one there to hit it either. So a little bit more of a different switch up from Titan.
And we're approaching that time, as you guys can see, 2 seconds left in Apex, or 2 seconds left in the before we get into a minute, and Apex starts rotating back over to A. So there is that window, Titan, there is that window where you can go very quickly up short and get a punish on them. But now Titan, they're like, okay, well, this is going to be the A play. They're a little bit behind. What are we going to do? We're going to put 4 guys on the A site. We rotate over, we over-rotate, but we make the right call.
Thankfully, I guess, there's some smoke in the way, so RPK actually snuck through in head of Karrigan, and look at this play coming out. The crossfire, regardless of the smokes, is good, but Karrigan still going, gets 2. Molly to maybe slow them down, should be able to pick up bomb. Oh,
what is he doing?
Why did I expect that? Kenny S was still up. I don't know if he thought maybe the Molly went into library. I don't know. I don't know what that decision was, but that was slightly sloppy. He allowed himself to be picked up there.
Can we get a replay there real quick? I don't know if it's possible, but a replay of that would be really nice, because I'm wondering if he thought that the bomb was on the other side of the boxes. Because I thought that the bomb was on the standard there, so he could have probably picked it up and gone for a default plant, right? But oh well, you know, mistakes happen, and that time around, Karrigan just shows too much of himself, and Kenny's not going to miss a shot like that. So another round on the board for Titan. They stopped that streak that TSM were starting to develop.
Yeah, 8-2 now. TSM back on kind of the back foot a little bit here, and as I said, they read the situation well on the Titan side. They stack out the site at the right time, but smoke's just slowing down TSM so bad. And there's no real weak spot. Let's be so honest here. You know, TSM can't just easily find a way in. This takes some real fortitude to even get a step towards these sites in the right way. But Apex still with a smoke, still has those few 15 seconds odd to buy with it. And it sends the T-side back, and then, what can they do with this? Quick smoke up towards CT Arch, maybe going to make a play out of it, going to try and take the advantage against just those 2 players, but I say just those 2, it's Kenny S and Maniac, and these 2 have been hitting these shots if they commit here, and Kenny, I think, caught a glimpse of one on the corner, and actually, Cadian taking the aggressive peek and winning it out. Maniac is now the last line on A.
What an incredible shot by Cadian. But they have to pounce on this. They have to take advantage. TSM, they're hesitating.
They're rotating back.
And the rotation comes in. Now they're going to get caught out by Apex with the double spray down. Perfect control from him. He's just stopped TSM cold. 20 seconds left now for TSM to make a play. They managed to recover the bomb. And are they going to be able to make it back onto A? Xypnix will spot out the man on short. Maniac, that was a crucial kill coming in for TSM. With 14 seconds left, they're going to be able to get this bomb down. Exist is trying to stop it, going for the long-range spray battle. The HE follow-up, but they're going to get the bomb planted, and that's all that matters for TSM at this point.
3v3, nice little pick up for Dupree, catching RPK, crossing over by Boiler, but Apex made it through, and he's still going. He's down this 2v2, Dupree needs to come up big, he does again, and there's the closer for Karrigan. Vital stuff, and I thought TSM were over then. I thought it was over and done with.
And look at Maniac right there. Maniac just full-on facepalm. But you got to give it to Kate. I think the key kill there, well, there's a couple of them. Apex, this was just a thing of beauty. But the key thing is just Cadian. What an amazing shot onto Kenny.
Being able to take the active peek onto Kenny S like that.
Well, just to hit that shot, because clearly he's not going in scoped. He steps in, scopes, and pulls the trigger, and all of that in the space of the blink of an eye to take out Kenny before he can get back safely onto that site. Hesitation there from Karrigan to commit to that site, though, however, and that's what nearly cost TSM in the end.
Really did. It came down to such small things fall into place that you just can't always depend on, but Kenny real up close here. He gets himself in a nice spot, catches one by second mid, not going to get any connections on towards the opposition player, but still, they've invested fairly heavily into this. They're going for, a little bit of armor, CZs there, and as you mentioned, Apex is more than proficient, to say the very least, with that gun. If they do go towards B, it'll be a disaster. I'd be super surprised if they even considered it.
And in Titan, again, going for the stack on B, this is really just their standard go-to default play practically now on their CT side of Inferno. TSM, once again, holding in Banana. Waiting with that bomb. This could be a catastrophe, though, if they decide to run up here. Crossfire CZ, they could get the entire lineup could get shredded. And Xypnix just kind of playing the decoy over here, basically, trying to make some noise. Basically an old-school nip play. Xypnix is going to lurk around here on the A site, see if we can't catch somebody rotating. In the meantime, this is going to develop towards the B site. TSM are now beginning to make the play go.
This just makes me nervous. There's that flash that wasn't in play before, that little one to follow, but look at this. Existence goes down, and they clean out, but will they expect Apex? Apex holds on. Wait, pounces, gets 3! Apex destroying TSM. Unreal performance. That's just sensational stuff, and now Kenny, Apex has got 1 HP. He can still turn this one.
And Kenny goes for the jumping shot, and he doesn't get it. But what a shot, what a play from Apex. That is unreal. And I love it. We have the replay function. So the first one is just glorious. That's with 12 bullets. He gets 3 kills in the space of 2 seconds. That's insane. He nearly turned it right there for Titan. That's the kind of play that would just completely shatter TSM.
Complete control of himself there as well. Just systematic with it. You know, that's something to watch back. You just watch it back and look what that man just achieved for his team. That could have been something completely different, but somehow, some way, they turn it around and TSM do close out that round, even though they were up against an eco'd outside that, in theory, should never have done that much damage to begin with.
And this is now developing into advantage TSM, although as I say that, great flash to the top of Banana. RPK once again demonstrating his incredible aim. And he gets another headshot, takes out Katie, and Kerrigan now trying to wrap back around here. The bomb is at the bottom of mid. And do they manage to pick up the gun? Yes, they do. So they get that AK that was at the top of the Banana, but they won't be able to pick up the AWP. And Dupree's actually chucking that AWP over the wall right now to make sure that Titan won't be able to hand that over to Kenny. So good weapon management coming through there for TSM. But just like that, in the blink of an eye, they've lost 2 of their players. This is a very scary situation now for TSM. They need to make the correct call. And it does look like they want to go towards B site because in general, right, if you're behind, B site will have less people defending it, so you should be able to do something there. But they've kept the AK on Apex, and after that last round, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near this guy.
Let's find out if they can even deal with him. No, look at that. Perfect control. Takes down Zimix. Doesn't even have armor to suit this, but spraying wildly through. Time turn it again on the eco, bearing in mind. They got close the time before, and they're like, hey, let's go even that step further. And that play from RPK, taking the confident peek towards Banana, picking it up, and then the follow-up out by Card. That is sheer confidence and just knowing that you're going to hit that. And him and Apex, my mind just goes back to what we saw against 3D Max. Those 2 of those pistols on that site when Apex comes over, it's just formidable. I'm surprised they even consider it, but still. T-side, Tech 9's, a little bit of armor, and Cadian going to go just for a little bit of a roast through those flames as, yeah, he gains a little bit of presence, but I don't know what he can follow up with. Nade to follow. Another molly goes down, and he might be burnt alive here. Dupree's down very low, 16, and this is just shooting fish in a barrel right now. RPK just padding out that scoreline. He's going to look brilliant in a second. Look at this. Just so well done, so well bought with time, and just handled it well. There's no threat then.
No, none at all. And that was, I'm really surprised that TSM go for such an all-out kind of play when they committed all of their money to that. So they just kind of go running through, hoping to catch Titan off guard, but like they're rushing the wrong site. You know, even in normal times when there's a 3-stack on B, like you wouldn't want to rush in there just with your Tech 9s through, you know, fire and flames. Like go towards short. They haven't done that a single time, TSM. No, they did it once and they got shattered. And I think that that's stuck with them. I think that's actually scared them away from going for it again. Whereas it would have, you know, it would be the correct play to go for.
You got to feel for it now. They you know, they're desperate to get maybe a 5-10 scoreline. You could salvage something out of that. You could work off that. But I don't see a situation where Titan lose this round. RPK's back. Existence is there. They're waiting. Does he have any smokes to work with?
They have the flashes. They have an additional smoke, but that smoke is going down very early. The only thing is that Existence has another one. So, no, they should be just fine right now, Titan. They have the pop flash. They don't have an incendiary. Yeah, they have an incendiary on RPK. They have everything they need right now to wreck TSM. And oh my, a back error, really? Okay, it's time for the radio cast, and it is going to be the B straight rush. And they're just going to just run right into the blender. RPK and Existence holding solid so far. Dupree is going to be able to get up onto the site with that bomb. It's a 3-on-4 situation, and Cage and B, there we go. We're back, we're live, and we're getting our feed. So actually, I don't know whose speed that is. It looks like it's an Observer PC, but there you guys can see it. Maniac working his way up. He's going to try and box these guys, keep them boxed onto the site, and as Titan constrict onto this B-bomb site.
Yeah, Dupree sitting in towards Dark Gate. Cage being the guy to pick up the kill, though. And as you can see, Dupree being the linchpin in this, somehow turning the tides in Existence. Last man standing, gonna push in. Flash comes out, fully flashed. Seconds ticking is the second, getting away from that round. And 5-10 will be that halftime scoreline. Titan picking up the 10, TSM with the 5. This is a close game.
Volvo, please.
Oh.
Volvo, please, don't do this to us.
There's the one time I'd actually like to look at Twitch chat, just vac.
Oh, man.
That timing, that time.
YNK, we always knew.
It's all come out, dude. It's all been found out.
That's it. I've been banned live. It's caught up with me.
It's over.
It's over.
The eagle's wings have been clipped.
Snipped. I'm ashamed, deeply ashamed.
Alrighty, let's get our attention back to the game. 10-5 now, Titan are leading, but now they're on that T side. TSM get to sit back on the CT, and I say sit back lightly because this is not going to be an easy walk in the park, but nice nade comes out, Existence gets tagged up, but it looks like a big amount of B attention is coming through. CT side's behind them, Kerrigan catching Apex.
Wow, Kerrigan getting a second kill takes out RPK, that's their pistol man. And now all of a sudden, Maniac is gonna go leaping into the blender. Dupree is there with a double kill of his own, and he gets the bomb dropped at his feet. Existence is now stuck all the way at top Banana. He's got nowhere to go, nothing to do. He's fully boxed in right now. All he can hope for is for somebody to get antsy. He needs to find that headshot on the wood logs. He takes his fight, and it takes him quite a bit of time to get rid of him, but they will do it in the end, and that is TSM just fully committing, fully boxing Titan in.
They took that full commitment, didn't they? They just ran straight down mid almost. As soon as they had an inkling, that idea, and whether or not they started with that, knowing, you know what, I think Titan's going to do this. We saw him do it before. I'm not sure. You know, Titan have played a lot of this map. It's been very visible. So maybe they picked that up and like, all right, we're going to do this. This is what we start with. But how can that now continue forward? We've got the Tech 9s, 3 of them, P250s as well in play for the T side. TSM want to keep this trend up more than anything. Try and negate that early advantage going to that second half of time we'll have with those rounds that they picked up, but looks like Cadian just going to back around a little.
What happened on the B side for them to all stop like that?
I don't know. I think
I'm really
one
curious.
flash.
Because they stopped cold and then started backing up again, so definitely a scare there for Titan. They did not want to commit for some reason.
Literally all I saw was one flash, but it just...
Oh, look at TSM's. This is a catch-all strategy from TSM. This is a real catch-all because they've got a man holding Speedway Arch and then 2 guys holding very far back on B, very far back on A. Just they're waiting. They're waiting for Titan to pounce. And Cadian is going to come back over to Library as well, so they're going to double up on Arch. Dupree is occupying Pit right now, so TSM decent setups right now. It's just, you know, are they going to be able to withstand the Tech 9 rush because that's about to come crashing through here onto A site.
Let's see if Cajun B and Dupree can step up. Cadian is going to be holding that CT Arch, as you pointed out, and it's going to be looking like where Titan are going to focus towards Cadian. That flash could be huge, and it holds them up. The other 3 start pushing towards quad, and they're going to be met by Cajun B. Surely it's not going to work, but the spray just wasn't with him then, and now Titan have some control. They've got Apex coming in, but it's been stopped in its tracks by the players coming in from Pit. Dupree should be able to close this. No, Apex apparently wants to deny it, but Cajun B will be there. And that time of the flash just offset that push completely, and it allowed them to mow them down. 3, and then the rest of the 2.
Really nicely done there by Cajun. Good spray control from him, mainly, and just keeping his cool. They managed to stop Titan cold. Titan, after having invested in that round, are now going to be stuck. They're going to have to go for a round of hard eco here. And so this gives TSM some breathing room. And they stick to double SMG as well. So we'll see if they're going to be able to capitalize on that, put those players in positions to really pick up a lot of frags so they can maximize their revenue. Dupree, long range, is going to take out Apex, who is hanging around underpass.
Ooh, Cajun B's one of the players as well. He's heading towards second mid. If they actually decide to keep committing up this route, could maybe catch out Existence here. I'm not too sure.
It's not a bad position to be in with the
it's great. Like, look, this thing, the fire rate of it, the range, it's perfect. It's perfect at that sort of place. Or disgusting, both ends of the spectrum right now. You know, funny enough, it's Dupree picking up the kills. Does get dinged down, but there we go. There's that fire rate coming in. You can just hold down mouse 1 and it's going to pretty much do the job for you. Cadian clears up in the end, but 1 kill comes in for Cajun B. Good bit of bunny off the back of that. Dupree pads himself out with a good couple of kills as well. And they just dealt with it. They held on. But Titan now have the guns. Now they have what they need to challenge. And I'm looking at Carrigan. Does he stick out on this? Does he stay with that SMG? He doesn't really have much. Well, he could buy up into a full gun, but he is choosing to stick with it again. It's brave.
Carrigan's a bit like Natu in that sense, where he is fully, you know, sold his soul and gone for the SMGs. You know, he has accepted his new overlord. He has said, you know, I willingly give up all, you know, hope of redemption, and I will, you know, play with this gun. That's what Carrigan does. That's what Carrigan has done, and I wonder how he goes with himself.
Carrigan nasty. What can you do? But if it pays off, hands up. You know, I can't say a word against it. That's the thing. You know, even Natu would say, you know, I'll do what works. If it pays off and it gets me around, I don't care how I need to get there. You do what's necessary, and we'll see if it is necessary. We'll see if it does pay off. As Titan taking their time, not rushing, not heading in anywhere too quickly, feeling things out, being held back by those smokes, just waiting things through, and we get down to that under 1 minute marker. So you're going to start seeing those plays forming, and it's Maniac just pushed up on B by himself. Everyone else pretty slow here, pretty cautious. Titan don't want to lose this one out, but Existence is starting to get a little bit of presence in towards those apps as well.
This is a problem, though. You don't want to give Titan this kind of space. I would actually like to see TSM putting a bit more of a fight, trying to keep Titan on their toes, because now Titan, they're going to be able to set up outside B. They have all of the space that they need. They're even going to go for a bit of the sneak. They're going for a very quick play.
They're on B. They didn't even do much to do that. They literally have 1 smoke towards CT, and now look at this play in. Dupree is going to come to a bit of an end, but nice work from Zipnix in the back lines. Perfect control. This man with that spray is unreal. You missed that first shot. He is not going to let you off. That is done and dusted. Now Existence 1v4. He was the player who got control over quad, so he's pretty much so far behind now. The time's over. It's done. It's dusted. He keeps the AK. But in the end, Zipnix then just kind of sewing together that whole round.
Yeah, and individual performance is what made the difference there. Zipnix, who's also lagging behind on the frags. Then again, he's been in awkward positions, so not really the opportunity to shine so far. He's the one who's going to be able to actually, you know, lock down that site, and he did a very solid job of it. Very important. Because when it comes to that, when you allow the T side to get that close to a bomb site, your only option is to land the headshots. And it's so rare because at this level, the players are so good at denying those kind of chain frags where you may get one, but then it's the trade frag and they get onto the site and they get the bomb plant. The fact that Zipnix is able to get 3, that's just huge. And that you can't count on that every round. That's the thing. So TSM, just really sick individual play there, making the difference.
Well, this round's going to bring it all even. This is the big thing here. Well, Existence did keep that AK for a little while, but that's going to be picked up first by Kadian. Zipnix cleans up towards Maniac, and these Tech9s not doing much, but RPK does manage to recover the AK at least, but to what avail? Great work from Cajun B sitting back, not deciding to challenge, but Apex finding Kadian. That was, I wouldn't say sloppy, but it was a dangerous place to be sat when he knows the Tech9s are on the map, and just around the corner, Apex punishes that flash, not quite quick to pop, he turned it, but Cajun B, perfect.
Oh, wow. That was really sick by Cajun. Actually, that is not easy to do at all. And that was a little obvious there by Dupree as well. I mean, just the straight up flash turns away. I mean, that's Apex isn't going to give you that kind of space to work with. He will pressure you. So well done there by Apex, creating some momentum for his team. But Cajun B was just not interested. He was not amused. He actually wanted a refund to his ticket, you know, for his ticket. Like, he was just not having a good time that night. So he slapped him around a bit, and now we're tied up. 10-10 TSM. Just continue to keep Titan in this chokehold.
This is it. This is massive. This is absolutely huge. Yet to lose anything here. TSM clean on that CT side, looking very good. And Existence down to that Tech9. Everyone else able to get themselves a little bit of a buy going on here. They've got some sort of presence up towards mid. Dupree's falling back towards library. Cadian actually picking up the orb, sitting just outside of sight and waiting now.
And here we go. Let's see if it begins. There's already the running headshot. That's going to slow down Cadian, and Cajun B not able to have that big of an impact. He's only going to get the one. They're getting overrun onto this site. Very quick push. Dupree needs to stay alive. He actually runs into Maniac. And that's unfortunate for Dupree, but a sick play by Maniac, keeping his cool, catching the rotator, catching the man at Arch, and now it's down to Kerrigan. 1v2, MP9 in hand. Let's see what he can do with it.
This is going to be such a tough task. He's what? Existence does only have the Tech9 in pit, but Maniac fully sorted there. Molly exchange between Existence can be pushed out. No, it doesn't actually hit him that much. Existence comes out, deals with it well, and Kerrigan, he wasn't there, he wasn't close enough. They'd set up well, the bomb was down. So already, looking at this one money-wise, how are we looking here? It's not, you know, the prettiest of displays for the CT side. They do get the buyback with them, but T-side now should be able to get a little more, and Kenny does get the AWP as well.
Quite a bit of money spent there by TSM. That's pretty much their entire bank committed. So this is now everything, and like all or nothing for TSM. If they lose this round, Titan are going to start running away with this. So 22nd round now in TSM, they have to come up big, and we don't really see any kind of control. There we go. Zipnix with the flash peek, but they don't take control of Banana, and this is really surprising because TSM are like famous for that. The aggressive smoke down bottom Banana, they rush down, they take control of it, they deny that part of the map, and they make you sweat. They make you work towards A, they make you, you know, they make you waste time, basically. And we haven't really seen that at all from TSM. They've really been playing very passively up on the site so far.
They have. It's not really hindered them too much yet, but we haven't seen much play out of time towards B just yet either. It's been mostly focused towards A, so I'm kind of interested if that pays off. But Kerrigan does find Maniac, but he's been lurking, and it looks like it's going to be that A play coming out again, and it's going to be towards quad.
And this time around, Cajun might be in an interesting position. He might be a little bit exposed up on the pillar like this. Existence already showing that he is here, and that actually buys enough time for Kenny to peek and take the shot onto Cajun. So there you go. He gets paid. He has to pay for it, but Dupree holding down in pit takes the first, takes 2, and that's enough. Now into a 2-on-2 retake situation here. There's enough time, however, for RPK to change up his position, and he can get into a decent afterplant along with Kenny has to hold long. And Kerrigan just going full YOLO straight out into the open. Kenny isn't having none of that. He's going to punish you for it.
4 kills for Kenny in that round. One by one they fell, and those first couple of kills just opened that side up completely. Not much to be done beside that, and Kenny just closed it out. And I don't know. It seems they found their way in. Titan now 2 times, maybe even 3 have been trying out that playthrough towards quad. They've been getting the control off it. They've been working through, and the 2-men stacking over there. Dupree and Cajun generally not getting the control we saw coming out from the likes of Maniac on the other side around when they were on the opposing sides. But this is maybe where we see a little difference. Maybe TSM can think something through while they are on this eco. They didn't really buy in too much to it. A couple of P250s, a flash and a smoke. So not too crazy.
Yeah, they have to save for the next round, essentially. And here we go, the power play coming out from Titan, in fact. They're going to go to the weakest site. They've been guarded off man behind second boxes. Kerrigan can't really get anything done in that position. They've actually pushed aggressively into CT as well. Maniac really just imposing his will right now. He's not messing around. Goes for another spray shot. He's just looking to pad his stats. Looking to get a few kills in there. Dupree catches out Kenny, who misses the shot. And Dupree with a very nice headshot there with the P250, but Existence is going to peek him, and actually RPK just goes flying by and gets the shot in the end with the Glock. So Titan are now, they've got everything they need. 13 rounds, a little bit of a cushion regarding the money is, they've actually got enough so that they can rebuy if they lose this round or suffer heavy losses. TSM, however, they're the ones who are hard pressed.
This is it for them almost. You've got to think like going forward, that'll be 14-10 for Titan after this round. If TSM don't close this out very cleanly, they are going to be struggling for cash, and this is the difference. Look at this difference. You said that they normally go down aggressive here, and they are, but they've been met with absolute sheer force. Maniac taking down Apex, that's not great. They've actually evened things up here. Kerrigan got a little bit of damage, but manages to get out of there. He's already got Dupree with him, so there was 2 present on both sides. But Zipnix goes down. It's not the biggest dent in the scoreboard, at least, but that's a player missing from a site now. So T-side, I want to see where they take this.
You have to give it. You have to give it to Titan for making the right call, because when TSM finally go back to their tried and true, Titan are going for the hard counter as well. Just straight up HEs to the top of Banana. They're like, okay, if you're going to come in here, you're going to take a lot of damage for it. Sipnix, though, he showed no fear. He committed to taking the fight, to really trying to turn it around there, despite taking 70 damage from HEs. He just couldn't get enough done. It was actually, I guess it was Maniac. Who was it that actually, was it Existence that took out Apex? I mean, somebody then goes ahead and actually wants to even things up a little bit and gives a team kill to TSM.
I'm pretty sure it was Maniac. You can quote me if I'm wrong, but I think it was. Regardless, it looks like the T-side have kind of doubled down. They're going back towards B. Kerrigan spots out 1. Dupree's pretty close by as well, so he might be able to slow him down a touch. No, overwhelmed. Maniac's there. Maniac having a good round this time. Dupree comes leaping in, caught out by RPK. And these 2 are locked out. They're not getting anywhere near that side. There's 4 players still up for Titan, and they are all ready and waiting. This will be 14-10, and I don't think TSM is going to have much to work with money-wise.
No, they're going to be really hard-pressed, and they're going to have to force up. They're going to have to go for a big buy. Because Titan, they're going to be on 14 rounds. They're nearly on to match point. This is a 1-1 scenario as far as the maps are concerned. This is a best-of-3 semifinal. So Titan are now 2 rounds away from a final. That would be huge. That was like Pantamera, that was Aces ROG. Those are the 2 finals that these teams that this team has made recently. TSM was in the finals at Copenhagen Games last week. So back-to-back finals for TSM would be a humongous victory for them. But for Titan to finally get into a final again, despite all of the trouble that they've been going through, that would be also huge.
It would be massive, considering they'll be meeting a team who also doesn't often make it to those sort of points. Na'Vi would be the next team on the chopping board for them. It's going to be big regardless, and this is one of the big rounds as well. Will this be now match point for Titan? It would be pretty impressive, and as you said, they've got to force into this. They've got to get what they can, spend whatever they have to give themselves a shot. Early control being worked on again by TSM. Oof, dangerously doing it. These guys just want that control, regardless of what they have to sacrifice to get it. Zipnix taking a little bit of heat from that fire, but it's going to speed up a little bit of control, a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of a test from Titan towards that A site, and wait and see where they commit. It's corralled them in towards it, but then can TSM deal with it if it does come towards this plate?
We'll have to find out. Right now, they've got control of mid. They don't have control of Banana, though, so already something going according to plan here for TSM. Now it comes down to the headshots,
Cajun, perfect place. He sprays, he gets 1, but just a little too much, and Carrion gonna go aggressive, does pick up Apex, and actually they're slightly off the cuff, slightly out of sync aggression, catching out Titan. They might have just done enough here as Maniac now. He did wonderfully last round, but this may be just beyond him. Carrigan gonna probably be the first to meet. Peeking around on the corner, gets the tag, not enough again. Maniac continues, and he could take a 1v1 on B. That's exactly where he's going.
That's what he wants to think about. He's looking for the rotator right now, but there's only 25 seconds left. That's why he's turning back towards that A site. He realizes, and TSM should realize as well, that he just doesn't have the time to go anywhere else. You can see already them taking these passive positions. Dupree going for the jump. I mean, just wild. And Maniac now, he realizes, okay, 10 seconds, I gotta make it work. I gotta make it happen. If I can get into that corner, he's thinking, if I can get into that corner, I can get a plant. But dupreeh is gonna stop him, and there you go. So TSM keeping their hopes alive here to end this in 3 without overtime.
Jesus, TSM, right? The way they've done well and the way they've switched and changed things over, outside of dupreeh almost dropping a 30, is that real aggression. We saw what they kind of gave up. They played on down, to claim banana. They pushed all the way down there. Xyp9x took a hell of a lot of damage going through that molly that was put into place to deny it. And I'm terrified of this. It's an all-in play. It's a ballsy play. And look at it. It's paying off. They've caught out 3 with that flash. And it's a spray down. It's a massacre. And that is brilliant work from Xyp9x and Karrigan working that B site. You wanted to see this, and you've just got given an absolute masterful show in it.
I see what they've been up to now. I see the games, the shenanigans here. Karrigan is going to get the headshot on Kenny, win in that duel. But Karrigan was just keeping it behind. He was keeping it back until it would be, Titan were getting too confident. Titan felt like, this is the dream. We've got it coming our way. And Karrigan, turns out he's a Viking after all. He just maximizes the pain and suffering that this team is going to go through. That's it. He wants Titan to shatter here.
This game, battle of will, battle of brains. Well, battle of aim. Existence there does find dupreeh a little bit quicker on the trigger, but Cajun is up in the apartments. He could have peeked out and maybe caught a glimpse, but dangerous to go up against Existence, even in these situations, just to challenge wildly. So I can imagine he's going to play this carefully. These guys do need the guns. I don't think the CT side has too much to fall back on if they didn't pick this up and maintain, so caution is key.
This is all they have to do right now, TSM. Nobody peeks, nobody moves. Xyp9x, you hold that angle, and you take the headshot onto Existence, who has to go for the peek on you. And they even get an AWP out of it, but here it is. This is perfect, really, just perfect flash in. Everybody completely blind on Titan's side. That was just exactly how it has to go, and that's going to train Titan to start going to that A site now. Do Titan stick to their guns and try and run through? Do they take the risk? It's now we're getting into the mind games. Because who's going to crack first? Who's going to change up first?
That's it. That's what I was about to ask you. How then do TSM prepare? Do they maybe send someone else there? Do they quickly rotate someone off B, knowing that, hey, they're not going to push that smoke, they're not going to come up here again? Do they put maybe someone a little bit further back?
Now, if TSM have done their homework, they know that when Titan starts shooting in second mid like this, they're getting up into apartments. This isn't a fake. They're really starting to get over here. They're going to look to control apartments. So TSM, they don't even have to push anybody in here. They could set up basically to counter this. And you can see them already. Cajun, once again, occupying the... I keep wanting to say the dildo, but I should say the pillar, but everybody calls it dildo, so sitting on it right there.
Sitting on it for a little while as well. Gonna have to move over, though, in the end. Getting a little uncomfortable, but 58 seconds for this one to work out. Maniac's holding the back of that smoke, but time is of the essence here for the T's. They got to make a play. They've given up where they were. They know their options, but B is still under control. There's nothing much the TSM are going to do about that. They're just going to kind of work it out. They're buying time. This is going to put time right down to those last couple of seconds where they have to overpower, they have to hit those shots. They've got to go Envy style to just brute it in, but now 3-2 split. Existence going to be caught out. It's actually Apex getting caught that time, and look, they're making the play through. Existence sneaks through, but do they expect Karrigan? Will they check? No, and Karrigan pounces, gets one. Sprays for the second, but Xyp9x exchanges. That's B open. It's a retake time now for TSM.
Yeah, that's not good enough. That's really actually not good enough, and now RPK is going to be able to get this plant standard. Existence waiting in construction with that P250. He can be lethal here, but there's still a man advantage for TSM. They have 2 kits. They have some flashes to work with. We have to see them put them to good use. And Katie, you can see it. Just goes for the flash. Existence going for the pre-fire. Katie knows exactly where he is now. Not going to hit that shot. They're playing the game. Now they know that they can just look to swamp this site. They can box him out. RPK is gone. And dupreeh, Cajun wrapping up the remaining 2 kills. Plenty of time for that defuse. And TSM, they're making it happen 1 round at a time.
I'm starting to get, the little butterflies going here. This is 14-13. This is the decider map. It's taken 2 to get them to this point, and they were close. Let's not define it. And we've got a timeout. We've got a chat coming in. This is Titan. I don't care what they say. They want to talk this through. Look at Maniac. You can see him on the screens. That guy's having a chat right there. That's
milking the cow. Like he is. Like this is just Maniac. Basically, it's the bounce back between Maniac and Existence at all times.
Yeah.
And so. You can say Existence, he's going to be going forward with his ideas, but Maniac is also the man who's been going through with a lot of the mid-round calls, trying to aid in, aid in the strategies, gathering the information to help Existence make those kinds of calls, lead the team and see where they need to go from there. Titan are famous for taking these kinds of pauses, though, these kinds of breaks, and really maximizing them, or maximizing their effectiveness. Since time immemorial, you know, if it was a hard eco round, they would actually just sit back and T-spawn and wait around and use that time, before there were timeouts like this, to just go over what they needed to do in the next round to have the biggest impact. So the fact that now they get a timeout, you know, they're not a team that is going to squander this.
No.
So I'm curious. I'm really curious to see how they decide to change up.
Yeah, if you guys are listening in on the team comms as well, let us know what's going on in their brains. See if you can hear what's going down, maybe. I'm kind of curious myself because, you know, every time they walk off that stage, you can see the little kind of mid part there. They walk off the back, take some fresh air, discuss things. And Maniac took a little bit longer, just sat back, kicked back, tried to get some fresh air, literally away from the team almost at the end. Him and Existence sat on opposite sides, not talking too much, and Apex even chiming in. We've got a Wild Anders in the background. I think he's got information here.
Ooh, okay, so yeah, he's listening. Obviously, Anders is listening to the Danes
is our
right
translator.
Now. So
we keep
give this information out. Oh,
I don't know. Do they have the headsets on? Hold on.
Thanks
Do they have
Anders,
headsets on? I just want to make sure. Like, I don't want to be that person to say something and then kind of give stuff up. I don't think they're allowed to take the headsets off anyway. So I think we're safe to kind of discuss that.
Oh, we'll hold out until the round.
Just to make sure when it
That's
gets
really interesting, though. I'm glad that TSM are gonna, well, you know, we'll see what
this
TSM
is the thing as well. This is what I want to discuss. We can discuss the theory to this kind of break. It's like, them for TSM, obviously, Tana going to switch something, right? You'd assume. But then, you know, does TSM then change? Do they switch their strategy? You know, that's the thing. That's when the kind of counter comes in. It's crazy to even think about that. And I think it's almost time to get going. You can see them adjusting, getting ready now. The countdown will be beginning any second to get this one underway. 14-13, still so close. And now, as the clock does continue counting down, the time is now over. We can start discussing what we heard about TSM.
And that's what I love, you know, because Anders comes in and he basically goes for like the perfect play, or at least TSM are planning on going for the counter. Now that they've trained Titan to go to stop pushing Banana early, what are they going to do? They're going to set up and hard counter in apartments. And that is sick, because that's where Titan are going to be trying to run up. They've just trained them to run up second mid. If they were going for the hard counter, here it is. Cajun B steps forward and loses out to the Tech 9, but Dupree is there, and again, well, actually, it just completely falls apart for TSM. Maybe this was a bad deer after all.
In theory, it was perfect. Theory crafting, it was correct. But will they expect Cadian? 1, 2. He did not get the third. Maniac comes into play. There's still 2 standing. It's a 2v2. This could be match point. And look at this play from Maniac, pulling up 2 by himself. And now Zipnik's left in a 1v2. The bomb is not down just yet. But can he find anything further?
And no, he will not. They split him up, and Maniac raises his arms to the heaven. Holy Gaben, thank you so for delivering this pistol to us, for giving us the power to take these close range fights and win. There we have it. Titan match point. TSM going for the aggressive fight, but Titan were so quick. That's the one thing that we can give to them, is that they just showed that no fear.
Straight up, yep.
No fear, run in and trade. Trade frag, trade frag, trade frag. If you get caught, your buddy who's right behind you, he'll return, and you just keep that momentum going until you can roll out onto that site and get that bomb plant, or just crush the defense entirely.
But will it work again? Look at Apps. You can see 4 players in there right now. And Kenny walking with this, actually scoped up. It's not an easy one. Cajun B is gonna have to be on point.
We'll see if he can do as well as Maniac.
Exactly. Can he step up to that play? 1 minute left. The bomb is with RPK. They're fairly committed to this. I haven't seen them actually starting to, you know, build anything towards it flash or smoke wise, but there's one. But will they go for it?
Well, TSM have gone back for the tried and true. They've controlled Banana, so Titan are starting to make it look like, hey, well, we might actually go for some kind of aggression on A. Instead, it's going to be Kenny S opening up and taking out Cadian, hitting the perfect spot, because I think that Cadian had just managed to back off. He was going for the peak, and Kenny hits that perfect timing. So really working out for him there. And now it's just Titan have all of the gear. They now have the man advantage as well, and TSM have 3 flashes with 30 seconds to stop this bomb from getting planted.
30 seconds and we'd find out who's going to be walking away with this one. RPK surely going to follow this up one. Takes down Dupree. Cajun B on the front lines here. Takes down one. Looks to follow, gets it. Existence falls. Surely. No! Cajun! Unbelievable stuff coming through, and the close comes in. Cajun B saving his side again.
And are we going to have 2 overtimes now in this series?
Is it real?
I don't know. Me neither. I'm just like biting my lip. Just I cannot believe that Cajun actually pulls that out with a USP. I was expecting him to try and pick up an AK at some point. This is huge, but this is even bigger. And then, well, I mean, just this is completely wild. This is completely out of control. At that point, it's all right if Cajun dies. He's done what he needed to do.
Above
Even
and
just like
beyond.
1 for 1 would have been all right. 2 for 1, he's already ahead. But 3 for 1
This
is
thing-
incredible.
Oh, it didn't
Kaboom.
make that bad, but Existence got taken a little low, but that could have been worse. 15-14, Semler. You take this round.
Again, control banana from TSM. They stick to what works. They're forced Titan up into apartments, but they've actually gone for 2 in banana this time around. 3 guys holding solid on A and very passively as well on that A site. So that's what you have to do. If you're going to go for that kind of control banana strat, you need to make Titan work. You need to make Titan fearful of pushing too aggressively on A because they could be walking into these kinds of crossfires. So right now, Titan just pacing themselves out, waiting and making TSM use their gear. As we can see, KJB chucking out the Molotov with 50 seconds left. 3 smokes, though, is actually a lot to work with. A lot to work with at this point in time. They're going to be able to lock down a lot of the entrances into the site. There you go. Short balcony. They could really slow things up here for Titan.
Perfect smokes, perfect play, but can Titan now pull this off? They're infiltrating the site. 30 seconds left, Semler. They've got to make something out of this.
They absolutely do, and there we go. There's going to be the push out from balcony. Apex going to go leaping down into the pit. We can hope that he is not going to get it done, but he will take out Dupree. And now, man advantage for Titan. 20 seconds left. KJB has been spotted in Graveyard. They know he's here, but Cadian also having an impact. Kenny with the headshot, and Cadian, it's now down to Cadian and Kerrigan, along with the help of Sipnix. Man advantage hold for Titan, but Kerrigan makes it a 3-on-3. Finds Apex, who was lurking in the pit. Now can they hold Titan? Can they win? This is it. This is their round to put them into their grand finals here at ESL. Cadian, however, he's trying to do the best that he can. Kenny from the grave is taking 1 man, looking for another. He's not going to get it. Instead, it's Cadian to stanchion. He will not fall. He will not pull through. Instead, it will be Titan. Again in 30 rounds, taking it to the grand finals. They will go on to meet up against Na'Vi.
That meant the world. The difference was 14 HP at the end. Cadian pulled so hard to try and get that round, but Existence stayed alive, locked it down, and the final time that they pushed that site, it worked. They got the plant, they got the setup, and somehow they got that win, but they had to work so hard, and you can see that. Both teams, a phenomenal display of CSGO right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What a charged last round as well. They could have gone so many ways. Kenny with the kill on the man holding in Graveyard, then taking that position, falling to Cadian. Cadian doing the best that he could as well with a 5-7. I mean, just incredible. Just incredible play from both teams, going the distance. 30 rounds in the last map as well, but 3 maps, overtime on the first. I mean, just both of these semifinals today actually have just been spectacular.
They have been, and now we have 2 teams in a final, which is going to blow people's minds. Na'Vi up against Titan. I don't even know what to make of that. That's going to be something beyond belief. I can only hope. It's, that performance from Na'Vi was astounding, and what we just saw between these 2 was second to none. So I don't even know what to think about that final, but looking back at this game, I think we can say they both fought tooth and nail to get to where they got.
Oh, absolutely. And that's another thing is that TSM, one thing that we have to consider is the fact that they did have Cadian, but Cadian really delivered this weekend. We saw a fantastic performance from him. Titan as well. I mean, we have to just basically all give credit to Maniac, who has just played completely out of his mind. Like, at a totally different level. For months, he was struggling, just struggling to get frags, to get anything done. But now that their star opera, like basically the best opera in the world pre-patch, has shown that he's struggling with the changes, who steps forward? It's not Apex, it's not RPK, it's not Existence, although Existence also has been stepping up. It's Maniac, who's just tooth and nail fought for his team, and he's a big part of the reason why they're in this finals now.
And you know what? I think that's enough from us. Let's head down to the man himself. Maniac's on stage, and Sean, have a chat with that man.
Thank you so much, Pansy. I am joined by that man who must be shaking. Your adrenaline's got to be pretty high after that performance. Maniac, Metro, well done.
Thank you very much. Like I told you, I'm just trying to slow my heartbeat down because it might be dangerous at that time, so I'm trying to stay cool. But it's crazy, right? It's crazy.
Well, I can imagine the feeling's got to be pretty great. I was talking with Vendetta during the game, and he was saying how this is your first final. I mean, that's obviously Gamers Assembly aside. How does it feel? What's going through you right now?
Well, aside from the fact that we are going to the final, what pleases me and what excites me that finally we could close the match. For those who follow us a little bit and the analysts, they could see that we struggled a lot to close the match. We had a lot of loss, 14, 16, that kind of thing. And finally we could take the good decision and pick the most important round. And for us, for me, that means a lot. And I hope we're going to keep going this way.
I mean, we just heard, and the people watching at home heard that, they said you had, an absolutely an amazing game, but also Apex really stepped up in this, and maybe had the game so far of the tournament. I mean, how does that make you feel going into now the finals?
Well, personally, I am amazed. I'm really happy to play my best level possible right now. I'm happy to help the team, and as I always told you, there is another challenge coming in the final, so I should not rest, and I should focus on the final. Now, when it comes to Apex, he had an amazing Inferno. He's a great, he called great tactics on Inferno, actually. He sees the map, he understands the map, and he helped us a lot finding some solution when we struggle at ST. So our victory in Inferno is really also up to Apex, so really congrats to him. And now we're going to take maybe 5-10 minutes to chill down, and we have another big fight coming up. It might be dangerous because we used a lot of energy right now, and the challenge is to calm down and then focus again and use the energy.
Well, we wish you the absolute best of luck. Thank you so much, really. I'm sure you want to go and hang out and congratulate and hang out with the team. Exciting stuff here. I'm sure there's lots for you to talk about. Machine.
Thanks very much. Lots to talk about indeed, but I feel like it's more of just a case of congratulating Titan on their victory, getting them to the finals, of course, as Sean said before. Gamers Assembly aside, this is their first final since iOS Pantomera, so they're going to be happy to be there. And against Navi as well, of all opponents, it's starting to shape up to be a really nice final. Once again, Devil Walk Vendetta, anything you want to say that stands out to you on that final map?
Well, I just want to say, like, that Inferno game, it kind of felt like Apex was, on the T side. He went for the entries, he got the entries, he kept on pushing through and actually did like a huge impact on the T side. Like it was just like he was in LDLC. Like that was the old Apex we were used to seeing before. But I haven't seen him go for that aggressive picks in Titan in a long time.
Yeah, in a very long time, and that's the problem with him being so inconsistent, because you can see how good this team is when Apex does that. KennyS didn't really have an impact in that game, honestly. Like, he didn't have his greatest game, and that's completely fair, because Apex stepped up, he played amazing, and I could go, yeah, exactly, and I could go on for hours about how well Maniac played.
And I think what's being said here, and I think it's quite an interesting point, is that Titan are always hailed as KennyS +1, +4. Well, +4 makes more sense. And I think that finally, with this potential change to the AWP, with this whatever it is that's making KennyS maybe fall a little bit from grace, we've seen 4 members from Titan really step up to the plate. Maniac said it himself. Existence was really guiding them on Inferno so well, and he's a big reason for that result. So it's kind of a nice statement, especially moving in towards the final, to see Titan, who may have lost that one standout individual, but have got 4 in return.
They look more like a team who is actually winning together than actually, like before, KennyS just carrying them. I guess it's to the point where, okay, KennyS is having a struggle, we need to really step up, and this might actually make them find their play style and how they should play, just because of KennyS struggling.
Yeah, this could very well be that the 4 others figure out this is the most effective way for the team to play, and eventually Kenny will come back to being Kenny. Maybe he's not going to drop 30 bombs every single game, but he's going to have that impact potential on every single round, and all of a sudden Titan are a tier 1 team that absolutely everyone fears.
And with that being said, it is now time to put the brackets on your screen. We have our confirmed final. It took us 3 days and some real nail-biters, but we do have that final bracket to show you. Envious, sorry to see them go, as well as TSM, the 2 fallen from the semi-finals. And I've already highlighted how exciting it's going to be. Lauren has said the same, and I'm sure you guys on the desk can just give some opening thoughts when you see those two names in the grand final of ESL Pro League.
It's going to be the first tournament in a really long time either one of them have won, so either way the storyline is going to be great, and it's going to be tight. It's 2 massive in-game leaders getting, going head-on in a best-of-3. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be exciting. I heard it here from the desk, and now it's time to hear from you guys. Do get over to our Twitter at ESLCS, as well as our personal Twitters. I'm sure you'll be able to find them somewhere around the place. Until the grand final, it's time for us to say goodbye. So stay tuned, tell everyone the grand final's on the way, and we'll see you then.